Have you ever looked at two different photos and noticed that one has dramatic and hard shadow while the other has soft and smooth shadow? Difference could be hard light versus soft light. In today's video, I'm going to show you the difference between hard light and soft light. So this is our source light. It's the Godox TT522 speed lights. It works with batteries. So hard light is created when the light comes directly from the source of your lights to your subjects without much spreading or diffusing. Another fact that creates hard lighting is when the light source is smaller than the products or the same size as your products. It produces very hard shadows, like it's a hard light. We're gonna take a photo of my products with the speed light, and apparently the speed light is standing there directly looking to the products without any diffusion or anything. So there is nothing between the light and the product, and at the same time the source light is technically smaller than the product. So it's a hard light, and we're gonna take a photo and see the results, and you will notice a very harsh, like the transition between the shadows and the highlights is very seen, is very visual. Like you can see, sometimes you can see the line like separating the shadows from the highlights. So let's do it and see it on screen. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the picture, the photo I took on a big screen. Okay, so that's the raw file. Okay, you can see here what I was talking about. You can see, so this is the shadows, and you see here like the line is very hard, and here is the highlights. And the highlights are very strong and the shadows are very strong too. So the contrast between the shadows and the highlights, and the transition between the shadows here and the highlights here, is very clear, is very defined. And that's what we get when we use hard lighting. I personally love using hard lights, especially in products photography, in creative work and stuff, but when it comes to listing, like for your website or for beauty work, I mean by that portraits, like beauty portraits, it's better to use like a soft light. It gives that very soft feeling. We can notice like the transition, the hard transition also here. You see, whenever there is shadows and highlights, the transition between them is very obvious and very strong. Same thing in here. So here we have shadows and here we have highlights. The transition is very strong. So yeah, that's hard light. Okay, now let's talk about soft light. So when do we get soft lighting? We get soft lighting first when the source light is huge, is bigger than the products. I'm just talking about products photography for now. So when I'm using a source light that it's very bigger and larger than the products I'm using, I get soft light. The case when we get soft lighting is when we use, obviously, a diffusion between the source light and the product. So the light is not coming directly to the product, it's diffused and spread. So the light is not concentrated and coming this way directly to the product. It's spread all over the diffuser, and it's coming as like spread lights, as a spread light. So that's what we call soft lights, and that's why we have diffusion boards and diffusion tools to diffuse the light coming from the source to make it softer, to get like a softer results. What do we get when we use soft lighting? We get obviously the opposite of what we get when we use hard lighting, which is a smooth and soft transition between shadows and highlights. And sometimes when the diffusion is like very too much when we're diffusing the light too much, like when we want a very soft, like the softer light ever, we don't get the shadows. Like you get a very smooth and soft result, like you can't even notice, you can barely notice the difference or the transition between shadows and highlight. They are merged, they are merged in a very soft way. And soft lighting is most used in beauty portraits. When it comes to products, I like to use it for listing, for when it's for a website, or if it's like cosmetic products or something. It's better to use soft light to give that soft look, soft feeling, so that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna get a soft light using the same source lights. I'm gonna use something between the source lights and the product, and it's gonna be a diffusion board to diffuse the lights and get soft lighting. So let's do it together and see the results. And this is the result. So let's zoom in a little bit and see the difference. Okay, so here is the shadow and here is the highlight, and you can see that the transition between them is graduated. It's not like a harsh line. You can feel it's blurry a little bit. It's softer and it's darker. Obviously the picture is darker. Same thing here, you don't see that harsh line. It's really blurred here. When you move from dark to light, it's going like slowly here. I'm gonna show you the one with hard lights and the one with soft lighting. Like it's from the same distance. I didn't move the source lights, just added the diffuser so we can see the difference. So here is, okay, so here is the one with hard lights and here is the one with soft lights. Okay, so let's zoom in the exact same places so you can understand what I'm talking about. Okay, you see, look at the transition here and look at the transition here. It's literally a line here, and here it's more diffuse. It's more like it's here it's very dark, and then it goes a little bit lighter, until you go to the highlights. If you want to get softer light, like you want this graduation here, or this this transition here between dark and lights to be more softer, All you have to do is to make the lights come into the products more spread. And how to do it? It's either you like move it further because it doesn't arrive directly, you know, like there is a space, more space between the products and the source lights, which mean when the light comes from the source, it gets lost in the space. You know, it's spread in the space before it comes to the products. But when it's very close to the product, it comes directly to the products. You know, I hope I did explain well. I'm really trying. If you want softer light, you move, for example, the source lights further from the products, or you can use double diffusion to get the softness of the lights you want or you need for your photos. Okay, I hope I explained well the difference between hard lights and soft lights. And once you understand how the light behaves, you won't need very complicated setups to get the light you want. It can happen just using simple setups. Never complicate your life. Just need to understand what do you want the light to do, you know. So when you're clear about your vision or about how you want the photo, the final result, the feelings you want from your photo, you can create it through manipulating or playing or working with lighting. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful, and I hope I explained well the difference between hard lights and soft lights and how to get them in a very simplified way. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and tell me in the comments anything. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and